Subarus, roll out, and Supra. It's just like me to bring a Supra to a Subaru party.
I think you got confused because you thought we said Supra, but we said Subaru.
Ah.
What are the two that you have in mind?
Like a 2.0i, 36,000, Mazda Speed 3.
Whoa, what you got running over here?
This is Camino. It's an El Camino. It's the small version. It's imported from New Zealand. No, it's a Brat. Subaru Brat. It's a 1979.
You're a brat.
A brat? This
You're
guy.
a brat, yeah.
This guy.
This is pretty cool. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to do with this thing.
Oh, we have some good ideas for it. For now, I just want to drive it because it is a rusty pile and I think it will be a blast. But trying to get something from 1979 to work right is a challenge when you can't get parts for it. So,
Well, it says it's four-wheel drive.
it is four-wheel drive.
Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, the main feature about this car, which by the way the interior is amazing. I love the seat covers too. The main feature is these jump seats. Like, what could you do out of them?
I think you could probably strap them in and then do donuts in the back of the burn yard.
Oh,
While
nice.
sitting in the back seat.
I like
Just
that.
saying.
Man, they really let you know that it's four-wheel drive. There's four-wheel drive all over the place. Mud flaps right on the back, on the front. Wow. This thing's pretty cool. I like it. All right, so we're gonna grab lunch and then I'm gonna be able to shoot all of these cars. Actually, I'll let Lewis shoot these cars because he's a Subaru guy, but I'll shoot a little bit.
All natural. Yeah, Lance was saying you have to buy the windshield from Japan just so you can run this windshield wiper.
Sir, that's too nerdy for me.
Well, actually,
While everyone else is doing rear wiper deletes, this guy...
Subarus are putting them on because it's cool.
What's up, guys? Larry Chen here. Welcome to another episode of Hoonigan Autofocus. And we're gonna focus on this beautiful auto right here. We got Brian from iWire. Hi.
Hi.
Tell us, where are you from and what do you do?
Well, I have a company called iWire. We're in Lake Forest, California, and we build wiring harnesses for anything Subaru powered. So if you have a Subaru and you need wiring, call us.
All right, so you're a big Subaru head, but you also build cars. So you built this thing.
With some help of my friends, but yeah, of course.
So tell us about it. What is this?
This would be a 1998 Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS. Everything else is not 2.5 RS. So it's got a 6-speed out of a 13 STI. It's got Brembos, it's got Zeal coilovers, it has every JDM part you can pretty much dream of, and on top of that, it's got a 6-cylinder out of a Tribeca.
All right, so that, okay, that's crazy. Okay, so it's not a 2.5 RS anymore. It's
3.6 RS?
3.6 RS. I
we
like
could
that.
call it that.
So it's naturally aspirated now?
Yes. So yeah, it had a turbo engine. I actually took it out to put this in. We'll see if it lasts, but it's cool for now.
That's the kind of craziest thing. You basically take a turbo car and then you non-turbo it, taking the turbo out.
Kind of backwards.
But you increase the displacement. It's out of a Tribeca. Tribeca. So is that an SUV or?
It's Subaru's like first crack at an SUV, I'd say. It's just a midsize, and they knew that Americans want torque, so they put a 6-cylinder in it. It's the only option you got. It was either a 3-liter for the first couple years, and then they put a 3.6 in it later.
All right, let's check it out. Here, pop the hood on this thing. I haven't even seen this thing. Wow, this is so clean though. It looks like a brand new car. Amazing.
It was repainted. I bought it in 2005. It was flat black and on jack stands.
Wow, look at this. Oh my God. All right, so it's a flat 6 then.
Yes, flat 6. It would be similar-ish to what you'd find in a Porsche.
This is incredible. So it actually fits pretty good then.
It's tight, so width-wise, basically the same. Long ways, pretty long. So if you look down, the radiator fans are actually sitting on the front, because a lot of people will do this swap and they'll actually stick the radiator down underneath the core support. But I wanted to keep AC. So in order to do that, I had to keep the radiator in the back. And then we put a kind of small condenser in there and fans up front.
Wow, okay. And it still stays pretty cool then?
Yeah, the AC, I haven't tested it fully yet. We got it running shortly a few months ago, but it hasn't been hot yet. So I haven't really put it to the test. But we'll find out. All the pieces are in there. The Tribeca AC compressor is in there. I don't see why not. It won't be an issue.
Incredible. Okay, so what did you have to do to make it fit besides the whole thing with the cooling system?
Honestly, nothing. The motor mounts are in the same spot, so it bolts right up to the transmission, no problem. It's really the biggest thing is just getting the fitment on the front end for the radiator. If you have a newer Impreza, say 02 Plus, the engine bay is slightly bigger. You could probably actually get fans on the other side. But the GC engine bay is just so small that you kind of gotta stuff it in there. Really outside that, hydraulic power steering pump setup, just to have something for a reservoir. You could probably basically use a stock setup, but we did that. And then just a filter intake, which it probably could use a cold air intake or something with a box. But for now, this is working fine. And then probably the biggest thing, Tribecas don't have a return line for the fuel system. So we basically added one in using a multi-pump fuel pressure regulator to get the fuel pressure down. Outside of that, it's pretty much stock.
So it's kind of interesting. This usually goes to the stock intercooler, right?
Correct. That's what it's designed for.
But now the scoop is actually just feeding this.
Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Have you seen anyone else do the swap?
There are guys, I'm not the first, so I'm not gonna take credit for that. Maybe the nicest. There's definitely guys that have been racing these with turbos attached to them. Usually what you'll find is 6 cylinders out of SVXs, the old SVXs. Those are more of an EJ block. This is kind of a hybrid between an EJ and an FA. The 3.6 probably won't handle boost that well, but you could de-stroke it and turbo it or supercharge it, do something like that. So they're definitely out there.
So did you actually have to do standalone or?
Yeah, so I started this project actually as a sort of CAN bus based project to do some R&D. Kind of hit some walls due to these only came with automatic transmissions in the US. So I was running into that, probably a bigger issue than the CAN issues. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna just put a Haltech in it. So it has an Elite 2500 with our harness in it and runs great.
Awesome. That is so cool. What a unique swap, really. It's got to sound so different too.
That's honestly probably the thing I like the most out of it. It makes decent power for an NA car, but it's not, it's not gonna smoke anything, but it's fun. But the sound that it makes you can't beat it.
So did you have a chance to dyno this then?
Yeah, so we dynoed it about a month ago, 2 months ago. Equivalent to 300 horsepower crank, so basically the same as a stock STI. So which is pretty good for an NA car, but when you're used to turbo 4 cylinders that are making 400 or 500 horsepower, it could use a little more. So the next step would be to turbo it or supercharge it.
That is so cool. All right, so close the hood. Let's do a little walk around and visit the JDM goodness over here. Wow, what a clean swap, really. And everything about this car is so perfect. It's beautiful. So it's a 98.
It's a 98.
So tell me about the goodies that you have on the outside.
So if you're a Subaru nerd and you love old GCs, then you'll see just about every GC part that you would want. STI sports bumper for non-wide body cars, that's an OEM Subaru part. 22B vents. The only thing that's really aftermarket is the hood scoop. It's actually from MRT. Outside of that, it's got every little version 5.6 part you could dream of is basically here. So side skirts, spats, mud guards, JDM rear bumper, ProDrive GC8s.
Wow, these wheels are really, really nice.
In a very rare offset these days.
So tell me about the wheels.
They're 17 by 8s. There's something in the mid 40s. I can't even remember. I've had them on this car for over 10 years. At first, I didn't even really want them. But as the car has aged, you can't find these anymore, and they have definitely grown on me. I always wanted a 10-spoke for this car. Yeah. More of a rally wheel.
And you can't really go wrong with gold on blue.
It's the Subaru. I should have my flat bill and my vape, but it's blue with gold wheels.
I didn't say it, guys.
It's the truth.
You brought it up.
We can admit to it. It's okay.
I'm actually used to seeing a lot of the four-door versions of these in Southern California.
Yeah.
I don't really get to see the coupe version.
This car was originally built as a 4-door. They only brought it over here as a 2-door to try to sell it as a sports car, basically. You're not going to see a ton of 2-doors anymore. Honestly, you're not going to see a ton of these cars in general anymore. There weren't that many production-wise for like 4 years of this car. Probably about the same as like 2 years of WRX. And they're just hard to find in nice shape. So if you have one, take care of it, please.
Awesome. Okay, so let's look at the rear real quick.
Yeah.
Tell me about this wing.
So this is real deal version 6 wing, trunk, and bumper, as well as mud guards and spats. So yeah, all version 6 parts.
I know you went out of your way to get something special. Like, this is a silly thing, but...
Yeah, apparently this, I didn't even know that people are taking these out. When I built this car, the rage was to have this. And apparently it's cool to take them out now. I don't know.
Okay, so the US version actually didn't come with a rear wiper.
No, it did not.
And then, so then, how do you even activate the rear wiper on this? Do you have like a
You
stock?
actually, the OEM wiper stock works because the wagon has a rear wiper, so you can just use one out of a wagon and it pretty much works. You just add a couple wires. It's not a really big deal.
You're like, don't take this the wrong way, you're the Subaru equivalent of like that Honda guy.
Oh yeah.
That likes the rarest parts that don't make any sense sometimes. I deleted the rear wiper on my 911 because it's, I don't know, I think it's ugly. And then I also deleted the rear wiper on the Corolla camera car that I built. It's like anytime I have a chance to do it, I think I might even delete the rear wiper on the R32 because I think it's ugly. But it's cool that you add it back in.
You can delete, if you feel like you need to delete this, you can come to my house in the middle of the night and you can try to figure out how to take it off.
Wait, so this, because you had to change the glass too.
Yeah, so I know people back in the day actually did. If you could find somebody who was willing to cut the glass, you could cut a hole in the stock one. I know some people did it, but the far easier way is to import the whole glass with the wiper and do the whole thing. I used to work for a company, part of what we did was importing all of these parts. So all these JDM parts came about when I bought the car back in 2005, 2006.
You're a madman. That is so cool. The brakes are off of a stock?
Yeah, they're just stock STI Brembos, nothing special there.
But off of what year?
This would have been 06-ish. They're 5x114.
Let's check out the interior. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is the real special part of this build. The interior is so clean.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, a couple new additions. I always wanted one of these factory pockets. It deletes the airbag. You can find them from right-hand drive cars all the time, but it won't fit in the left-hand drive dash. So you actually have to find them specifically from Europe. So a friend of mine found that and bought one for himself and got me one as well.
Incredible. Yeah. So all it does is it just deletes the airbag.
Correct, and then gives you a little pocket. It's a silly little thing, but
and you don't even use it.
No,
there's nothing in it.
No, I might put something fun in there later. I just haven't figured out. If you think of something good to put in there, please tell me. I will put it in there.
You could put your vape pen.
Oh yeah, my flat bill and my vape pen, and I'll probably add a charger so it can always be charged.
That's so cool. I like, this is what I mean about, like, you're like that Honda guy.
I'm that guy.
There's a lot of those kind of guys. There's not that many of these kind of Subaru guys, I feel like.
We are fewer and far between, because, I mean, you just think about the production numbers of Honda compared to Subaru in general. There's just not that many of them out there. So it's just a different crew.
So tell me what else, like, is this rare? This looks rare to me.
It's not, it's actually not that rare in that it came on a factory 98 to 01 RS. It was a factory option.
So,
but I didn't have one and I just thought it was cool.
What does it actually do?
So it's a compass. and it's an outside air temp, it is beyond useless.
Right.
But I think it's fantastic, so I wanted one.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, we have that in there. This gauge cluster is out of a 06 STI. It's actually a Euro 06 STI. You'll see it reads in kilometers. It's got DCCD with the STI center diff. So
I mean, I like this a lot. Swap 000.
yeah, I didn't want to steal. Somebody was actually swap number 1, and I didn't want to steal it, so I decided to go swap 000.
So you've done a bunch of these then?
Yeah, we've up to date. We're basically at 1,300 harness merges. So anything from a non-turbo Subaru to a turbo Subaru.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I started this company in 2008. I used to work for a company before where we did all the different pieces, but now we started doing just the wiring in 2008, so that we could help more people. You just ship us your harnesses, we'll modify them and ship them back.
You even went out of your way to get JDM sun visors, huh?
I did.
I love that.
And
so
JDM
much.
sun visors don't even have the mirror, so I can't even look and see how cool I am.
All right, so like, what else is in here?
So yeah, this is one of those things. It's from a version 6.
Oh wow.
They got the sort of white pink center
I
diff.
love that it's pink. Yeah.
It's technically cherry blossom red. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise that it's not pink. Inside, it's basically, I bought a brand new carpet from Subaru. These seats are out of a version 7 STI. The last seat Subaru ever made that was good.
See, I like that because I could tell that something is special, and maybe I could feel like the aura or you shaking as soon as I start looking at little things like that.
Yes.
But that's kind of the fun part of these builds. If it makes you happy and it's special to you,
Yeah.
you're proud of it. Like, it's cool that you kind of really saw out to look for these rare parts, and then you kind of collected it.
Yeah, I've been stashing them for 15 years basically, and
Tell us about the rear seat.
these are some early JDM Tiger stripes. They don't match anything, but I think they're spectacular.
They're really nice. I love it's like has like color.
The only other thing I think that some people might find interesting is power folding mirrors. They did not come with those here in the US.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, it's me. That's awesome.
So just the little things like that like I said, just make you happy.
Well, it sounds like a normal, but it doesn't sound like any other Subaru, really.
No, it definitely has a 6-cylinder sound that is very unique to this car.
Here, give it a couple revs. I want to hear it from the outside. And then we'll go take it for a ride. Whoa. Whoa. That tone is weird.
Isn't it?
Why does it sound like that? It's so different.
The part of it is, so there's a company in Australia that makes headers for the 6-cylinder. So they're Raptor headers. And then our friends over at Metro Performance built a collector into a basically stock NVIDIA mid-pipe. So it just has, because of some of the custom parts and the OEM parts, it just has this kind of weird sound to it.
Wow.
Super
it sounds,
raspy.
okay, here. Give it a little rev again, just from this side. It just sounds different.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty crisp.
Yeah.
There's like a crisp sound to it. But what about the front? Listen. I just expect to hear that kind of like garbage truck sound, like
Garbage. I have not heard that, but I like garbage truck sound.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love it. I think it's amazing. Lewis, who shoots with me a lot, he has a really awesome car that actually, Brian, you helped out a lot.
Yeah, his car
with
is
that build.
awesome. I love the way he put his car together.
Yeah, and I love the way that thing sounds, and anytime he comes to work in that thing, it's just awesome to hear. Let's take it for a ride.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Can I drive it?
Oh, jump on it.
Yes. Scumbag.
It's got a lightweight flywheel, careful. The one thing we learned as a byproduct of doing a 6-cylinder swap is that we put a 4-cylinder clutch and flywheel. It's OS Geiken. So it's lightweight, but it's lightweight for a 4-cylinder. So now it's extra lightweight for a 6-cylinder. So the revs pick up quick, but they also drop really fast.
Right.
So driving it around on the street's a little, you kind of got to give it some gas.
So, wow, it's really nice. Like, what steering wheel is this from?
It's just an STI, nothing special, US STI.
It looks really nice. The fit and finish that you guys did to make everything fit, really, really good job. And like this fits pretty nice.
Yeah, it's just a factory cup holder we yanked out, and I put a Defi. This is from when it was turbo. I just leave it in there as a placeholder. When it goes back to turbo, probably, we'll hook up the Defi gauges back up to it.
All right, here we go. Gonna drive the iWire Tribeca swapped.
Don't stall it. Oh, no. Yeah, now he's got it.
I didn't swap.
Now he's got it.
Install it. I didn't install it.
Didn't stall it.
Okay. Part of it is building a car. I mean, I could see you are a perfectionist. It drives like a normal car, and that's when you know you've done it right. You know, where it's not like
it's not a rickety pile.
Yeah. Before I start it, you're like, you don't have to like, watch out. Let me just hold this together so it doesn't fall apart. So like you changed this too?
Yeah, I redid the headliner. I did the door cards and the headliner myself back in 2005, 6, somewhere in there. Just thought, why not? Give it a shot. And then it turned out okay, and they're fading a little just, over the years, but it's not bad.
Whoa. Yeah. This is the jam.
And it's not bad.
Oh my God. I see what you mean by it revs so quick.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You have to be careful with this thing.
Yeah.
Wow. No joke. That thing revs like crazy.
Yeah. If you're not in gear, it's going to pick up and it's going to drop.
God.
I actually modified the settings in the ECU so that when you let off the throttle, it's as slow as I can close that throttle body, or else the RPMs will drop so fast.
I'm like not even feathering it at all.
Yeah.
And holy. Yeah. Wow, this is nice. I like it a lot.
It's got it has power at all places. It's not like throw you back in your seat fast, but it's just smooth.
Wow. Really, really cool. Good job.
Thank you.
I really like it a lot.
Yeah, I always built this car with the intention of something that I could drive every day. Not that I ever would.
Right.
Just given the car, but I always had that in mind of like, how would a customer of mine drive it? Yeah. And what would they need? And I want to build something that replicates what somebody potentially would daily drive.
Right. Oh my God. It sounds so interesting.
It does.
It sounds like, it really does, it kind of has that tone of a Porsche.
Yeah, just a little bit. It doesn't have the refinement of the Porsche sound, especially with that header. When I had the stock catted, when you were in it last time, that one day when it was kind of just barely put together, that stock with cats in it, much more Porsche sound because it cleaned it up. Okay. This is a little more raw.
Right. Wow. Okay. So, it's just different because normally when I drive these kind of cars, I expect the turbo lag.
Exactly.
And that's honestly a really fun part for me to enjoy these cars. It's not so much that, I understand that it's not as fast, but it's fun. It's like flooring it twice. You get surprised.
Yes.
And then when the boost kicks in, you get surprised again. This surprises me just as soon as I hit the gas, it goes.
It makes the same power the entire time. It's like I said, if you look at the dyno chart, it's actually very similar to an stock STI because the STI has enough displacement and the turbo's small enough that lag isn't as massive.
Right.
But it has just that smooth feel where it just pulls, and it's one of those things you're not sucked back in your seat necessarily, but you look at the speedometer and you're like, oh, we're moving.
Wow. That is so cool. I mean, so the flywheel is so light to the point where I clutched in to shift to the next gear and it kept rising in RPM.
If you give it any throttle early, it's gonna do that. If you let your foot all the way off and disengage the clutch, that RPM is gonna drop like a rock.
Wow. Okay. This is unlike any other Subaru I've ever driven. It's really, really nice. I really like what you did with it.
Thank you.
What a great build. What does it rev out to then?
About 65.
Oh.
It'll rev to 7, but you're not making any power, and there's no limiter on it. So yeah, you'll see at the dyno chart at like 6,000, it falls on its face anyway. So
Just kind of blew my mind how awesome this thing is.
Oh, thank you.
It's so drivable.
yeah, I think that part I really do like about the 6-cylinder. You could be at like 1,500 RPM and like in third gear and kind of just going slow, and you kind of hit like a canyon wall or something you want to echo the exhaust off of,
Right.
and you just give it a little and it just picks right up.
Wow. It's interesting that it's in kilometers an hour too.
Yeah. It's actually a remnant of my original build with this car. It originally had a Euro 06 STI in it, and so I wanted to save something from that car, or from that build, and the cluster was the most logical thing, especially since the mileage that I put on this car is the mileage on that cluster.
Look at this guy. Oh my God.
What a dreamboat.
Bucky.
Oh, hey.
What are you doing? Oh, what the heck?
Hey.
What
You
the?
guys ain't from around here, are yous?
But we like what we see.
What kind of 911 is this? I've seen one of these before.
It's a special edition. Well, I think we can just end it right here.
Yeah, I don't know how you can go on from that.
Yeah, I don't think how.
on after that?
I don't know how we're gonna top that. Well, I don't know. I mean, we might not be able to top it with that car, but we might be able to equal it. What do you think?
I don't know.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much.
You're
for
welcome.
letting me
Thank
drive
you.
this
Yes,
thing.
I'm glad you got to enjoy it.
I love it so much. I also really love how fast it revs. I mean, like, I can't believe how. My favorite thing about cars in general, I feel like when I'm driving them, the analog gauges
Oh yeah, you
are
can't beat
so
it.
cool.
Can't
right?
beat it.
Like why I love the S2000. I just hate that it doesn't have analog gauges.
Yeah.
But with this, I mean, it's just so cool. And plus, I can't believe how fast it revs. All right, that's a wrap. This thing was awesome.